12th. We're having our Parks and Rec Commission meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order as it is 7:30. The first order of business is to approve minutes from the previous two meetings. You guys should have received September and October minutes from the meetings. Just want to see if we're going to do September 1st. Does anybody have any changes to September? If not, I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
A motion.
Okay. So it was Rashonda and then Tajan seconded.
A second.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved for September. Let's do the same thing with the October minutes. Anybody have any comments on the minutes or changes for October? No. If not, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes.
And I second.
Shauna and Rashonda seconded. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, minutes are approved. All right, that part was easy. Got that out of the way. Okay, the next item on the agenda is meeting schedule update proposal. Kristen, is that you? I'm not, or is this about?
Way. So Vicki and I were talking about the agenda for this meeting and thought that possibly we could skip the next couple of months through the holiday season, if that's okay with the team, and possibly resume in February. Of course, unless we know of anything that we need to really discuss that's of urgent nature.
Fine with me.
I'm thinking that, okay, so that would be, well, December, January.
So January, we may want to have, if we have then selected the playground person or company, just so that everybody's informed. So, you know, I don't want people reading about it, you know.
Right.
I'd rather it come from us.
That's why I was looking at the schedule and I was like, oh, January, we might want to do that one.
Yeah, so January for that, for the playground, that's when we're supposed to do the notification of intent to award, just for the rest of you guys. So I thought maybe we could at least explain or show like kind of what we decided on, who we decided to go with. Because really we'll still be doing the notification before that meeting in January, but you know, within a couple of days, we'd be able to kind of, I would think, be able to show roughly what direction we're heading in. Does that make sense, Kristen?
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So just December will be a cancellation and we'll resume in January. Okay.
Yep. That works. Okay. Perfect. Cancel December. Okay. And then moving on, we'll do the Wills Memorial Park Playground proposal process. I guess the notice has already gone out. It looks like the pre-proposal meeting is November 21st. What's that?
It's actually the 20th.
Oh, it's the 20th. Okay, I had the 21st from that.
Originally, keeping everything on Fridays, and then just with the timeline and people's schedules and also the holiday season, we decided to do the 20th.
Okay, it's still at 2 p.m.?
Yes, it's at 2 p.m. At Wills Park.
Okay. And commission members, you do not need to be there. I don't want to, you know, add more to your plate or confuse you. This is for the, I guess, so who's going to be there? Like staff will be there and any interested bidders so they can kind of look at the area and stuff, or?
Basically, yes, it's a visit. And that's their opportunity. It's their opportunity to ask questions, review the site, go over any specific plans that they might have. That's pretty much what the pre-proposal is. So they can get a feel. I mean, the proposal that went out was pretty thorough. So we're hoping with the way that it was written that we kind of um, got to all of their questions prior to them having to submit any. But there's always a couple of questions. So we tried to anticipate what questions they might have and hit all those highlights within the proposal.
Okay, that makes sense to me. And then proposals are still due December 19th at 2.
That would be the 18th.
Oh,
So,
18th. Okay.
yes. And Vicky, please. So what I can do is after the meeting, I will send you the updated final.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah. So the proposals due will be the 18th at 2. That's
Okay.
a Thursday. And Vicky, I would really like for you, since you're going to be on the team that's actually going to decide who we want to go with, to pose to council.
Okay.
And then we'll also be scheduling a meeting sometime, probably that next week. And I know that's Christmas week, for you, myself, Wilson, and Michelle to get together and review all of the proposals that we got to come up with a consensus as to where we want to go, in which direction.
Okay. All right, we'll figure that out. And just so I can make sure that like I have the right direction from the Parks and Rec Commission. I think when we talked about this in the past, we kind of wanted to pull in some elements that had some history to do with the town. But it'll kind of depend on what the bidders kind of come back to us with. We wanted something that's, obviously safe, something that's aesthetically pleasing, something that also has like ADA compliance, so if there are kids that have disabilities, they can still, there's still elements that they can play. Was there anything else that the commission can think of that we need to keep in mind as we're selecting one of the bidders?
I have a question. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
When the bid proposal went out, I haven't seen it.
I
Did
was
it
gonna
have the?
ask Kelly, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tajon. Kelly, is there any way for me to share my screen and share the proposal?
Are you not in as a participant? Hold on a second. Actually, Shelby, this is probably going to be easier for you to do on the screen.
To
Can you
share.
Okay.
Is Kristen listed as an attendee or participant?
She is listed as a presenter.
Oh, okay. So yes, Kristen, you can go ahead and share that.
Do that now. Okay, are you seeing?
I am, yes.
Okay, so here's the updated schedule, Vicky. So the only 2 dates that changed were the 21st to now the 20th here, and then the 19th to the 18th there.
Okay.
And then if we go down,
See the requirements. Did we give them the photo examples, or would that be like the pre-bid meeting? We can give them like the division.
no, so we didn't want to suggest to bidders, here's what we're looking for. We want to spark creativity. And I did provide a link to our Parks and Rec master plan as well, but it does say in the design requirements that we're looking for, a playground design that reflects the community input, safety requirements, and intended age group use. Prepare detailed final design drawings, renderings, and material specifications for approval by town. It talks about durability, low maintenance, that kind of thing with regard to the equipment. And then here you can see these bullet points as Vicky was attempting to incorporate historic elements that reflect key landmarks. So I think we did a good job of laying it out there. We talk about what we want incorporated, a color scheme that's updated and harmonizes with the natural surroundings, as well as like a pop of visual interest. Inclusive and sensory play elements here. ADA compliance, some shading,
Yes,
other,
that's important. Thank you.
yeah. So then, we did not want to say, Tyjon, here's what we're looking for, because then that might kind of put blinders up for some people and not like allow the creativity to come in.
Okay, cool.
And then we can keep reading down. The other cool thing about the scope of work is that we included that the prospective bidder would conduct a meeting at Wells Park for key stakeholders and residents who want to come. I don't know how who exactly will be included in that meeting. Wells Park isn't very large, so that's something we'll have to discuss. But to like explain their plan, maybe get some input and make some tweaks.
All right.
Because whoever we decide to go with is going to work with us as far as design and the final product. And like I
Okay.
said, I can send this to you guys as soon as we're finished.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, does anybody have any questions about the Wills Park Playground proposal process?
How do you guys do evaluation of the proposals? Do you have like a set guideline or do you rank them? How do you guys do evaluations?
So it's been a while since I've been involved in a bid, let's say, evaluation. So I'm not sure if Colleen and Karina have updated the process and how we select.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not real sure.
I'm not sure if I can be, but I won't be available for the bid, the pre-meeting, but for the one where you guys evaluate the proposals.
So
If you
that
guys need some guidance or anything, I can be available for that. I think that's the one in December.
that is actually, yeah, I think that's the 20th. That's sorry, that's the 18th. So we selected a team of 4, and it's myself, Vicky, who's going to represent Parks and Rec Commission,
Okay.
Michelle, and Wilson, who's the director of Public Works.
Okay.
Now, if for some reason Vicky cannot be a part of the team and can't make the meeting, she will assign someone else from the Parks and Rec Commission to take her place.
Okay.
So if you're willing to be the backup, Rashonda, I'm happy to have somebody already designated, if that's okay with you.
Yep, that's fine with me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Tyjon, did you, I feel that I kind of cut you off with your question, but did you have any other questions after seeing this, or?
No, my question was specific to the visual design.
Okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else on Wills Park, the next item is the staff report.
I didn't really have anything to report.
Okay.
Thing that I really had to report that was an update for parks is that we got the Wells Park proposal out and the timeline for that and how all of that will play out.
Okay, great. And no change or movement yet regarding Pine Grove in terms of like amenities or anything like that?
I don't believe so. I think Tyjon might be able to speak more clearly to that. I believe that they might be a bit at a standstill with continuing on, other than the units that were already planned for with appropriation, water appropriation.
Okay.
I
Tyson,
got
did
one
you
more
have anything on
question.
that?
Sorry.
Oh, Nope, go ahead, Rashonda.
About the Wills Park, where do you guys post the RFP? Is it
That's
like on the
on-
website? Okay.
Yeah.
And anybody can come to that pre-proposal meeting?
Yep, it's open.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Tajon, did you have anything to add for Pine Grove?
Yeah, I think the last time we had the last meeting, I was in the car driving, I believe. So I might have forgotten some. I think a lot of the stuff was changed when they did the amendment to the master site improvement plan in 2021, I believe. A lot of things with the neighborhood, particularly. I think we're too far into the project to. Well, one, like I said, Pine Grove is still open to a conversation about potentially turning the parks over to the town or dedicating them. Each neighborhood has its own HOA. Obviously, if the town was to take on that task, that will require partnership with the HOA. It will require funding each year, which will also probably require additional staff. There's 7+ neighborhoods in the division, but what they are going to do is that major park, which we know about, and then they're dedicating land closer to the Rosewick Road area to the town for the town to use what they deem feasible. I don't think the town's far enough to understand what that looks like, and I don't believe that's been dedicated just yet.
Okay. All right, so then no community building, just the land is all we're going to be getting from Pine Grove.
Right. So I think that's a conversation with if we roll it to the town council report, that's okay with you. I can keep talking.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So on October 28th, we had a meeting, and we was talking about the Wills Park Amphitheater and Trail and some other things in town, like facilities and all that great stuff. So first, I am glad that the amphitheater and the playground is separate, and we're moving forward with the playground to get that done. The amphitheater, the train has not left the station.
Okay.
I don't know what the appetite is on the council. So what I suggested was, if there is no appetite, we are getting that dedicated land. Would it be more beneficial to shift the funds towards a feasibility study for community center? Now, everything will be on the right-hand side of town and not necessarily on the left-hand side of town. So there'll be some issues with that. But I did request staff, and I'm not sure if Michelle got to you yet, Kristen, to bring the amphitheater question or conversation back to the Park and Planning Commission to see what the thoughts are on that. 'Cause I'm not sure how the amphitheater came up. I'm sure there was a history somewhere, and I didn't have the history on why that was in the capital budget.
There used to be an amphitheater. It's kind of still buried, I think, under the trees and leaves at Wills Park, like back in the woods. So I think they were just were looking to like refresh it and start using it again, because it's just kind of been overgrown and everything over time. That's my understanding of it.
That the amphitheater was part of, we had funds set aside through ARPA that was originally assigned to that project. So I believe that that's why, because we have the funding. So I was never involved as a project manager or affiliated with that specific project, only with the playground. And I wanted to, I don't know what the plan is moving forward, but I was really hoping, and maybe it doesn't make sense now, but maybe the facilities analysis that's happening will shed some light on this. But I was really hoping that we could move forward with the Parks and Rec concept for Wills Park, and maybe next year start working on what else are we going to do to make improvements to this particular site, since we do have a community building there, but as we all know, it's an old building and probably needs a refresh, or maybe even a new building altogether.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
So this is what was presented to the council October 28th. And this was the design that they commissioned in 2024. So I guess not that far long ago.
Mhm.
And it is there's money in the capital budget this year. I don't think it's to cover everything, but there's money there. And this was the design concept that they came up to. So Kristen, there was a building expansion. We got the playground upgrade. They was going to add in a picnic pavilion. So I requested staff to bring it back to the Parks and Rec Commission, but we're here now. And then Kelly, are you on still? So this was what the concept they had. And you know,
Right.
obviously to the right of the playground is the county open space that they purchase, which I don't know what the plan is for that, but it must be used for recreational activities, from what I
And then-
understand.
Is this to like in the area where it says dog park? Oh, no, in
I'm sorry, where we at?
the Great Lawn area?
You're
So
talking
that-
about the county's property?
Yeah,
It
it's
should
off
be
to the
like on the
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
trees
I
to the
see.
right.
Oh, great.
It's
Okay.
that big open field on St. Mary's Avenue, as soon as
Okay.
you pass the park. And obviously, you see like they do like a redesign of parking spaces. Like there's 37 parking spaces, a total of 68 parking spaces altogether. So I don't have much history or background with how this came about. So
And I don't either. I just, when I started working on the Wells Park project, Kelly actually brought my attention to this plan. I really was unaware before that time as well.
Kelly, are you available? So I guess my question would be,
Do you want me to give her a call, see if she wants to jump on? I don't know.
And I'm trying to remember how this came about too. It might have been because the ARPA funds. I'm
about to
I
find out
don't
right
really
now.
remember now. But I do know like we've had LPYSA has put the money into like using the soccer fields, kind of like where that Great Lawn area is. So yeah, but I think they knew that, if I remember correctly, they knew that they were just kind of putting the money into the fields to get them up to usable for their purposes, and that at some point there may be a change at Wells Park, if I remember correctly.
That's
So,
correct. I think Michelle said there's an MOU.
Okay.
And they were told that they could use those fields during the specific time frame for as long as they wanted, up until the time that the town of La Plata decided they were going to do something else with it.
Got it. But at least we'd be able to, someone would be able to use that area in the meantime. So, okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, it's in the project reserve, which is the ARPA funds, for about $350,000, and it's about $7,000 a year to maintain, which you know,
Mhm.
I don't think that's of a concern, but it is in the capital budget. There was information only. I don't know what the appetite of the council is. I don't think anybody would say no, but you never know. So I guess I'm asking you all. I think this would be great. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picnic pavilions. Like, when you think about this side of town, is there much here? Like Tillman Lake is on the right-hand side, Lower Springs is on the right-hand side. Obviously, there's nothing really on the left-hand side of 301 Steeplechase up to Quellwood. So it would still be Wills Park. I guess it's just up to you all. It is in the capital budget. It's $354,000.
And that, Tyjon, just for confirmation, that $354, that was originally for the amphitheater? That was the ARPA
Yeah.
funds dedicated there? Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, with the installation of amphitheater behind community building to be used for outdoor performances, trails, following perimeter park, etc., and an art center. That's why I wanted to talk to Kelly, to see like what vision or background does she have of it. They're trying to incorporate a lot into it, which is great. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know what the appetite of you all is. It when we bring this back up to council, because we got budget conversations next month about policy set and direction for next
Mhm.
year. Do we still want this to be part of the Parks and Commissions go forward? Or was this more of a staff initiative?
Well, you're not, are you saying the 354,000 would accomplish everything that's on the picture?
It says no, I don't think so. It says installation of amphitheater. So I think that's
Okay.
just starting the amphitheater.
Okay. I think the arts thing was probably like a stage, and maybe, I don't know if there would be like any kind of like covering or something like that, because I think they would use the like a stage to present to the amphitheater. But I'm not sure if there's maybe more details in there or not. My only concern is that will the amphitheater get used if we were to not continue developing the park? You know what I mean? Like if we do not continue the rest of the things here, although maybe it would with the addition of the playground. I just don't want the town to put the money into the amphitheater and then no one ever go there to use it. Unless the town were to host our own events there. What do you guys have any thoughts on anything about that?
Well, and I think that is part of the pushback on the amphitheater project moving forward, at least in part, because I think the question is posed, what specifically will be happening there? Will it be
Right.
used? What are the funds that are going to be required to man it? Security? I don't know. What is the exact use? And does it make the best sense? I don't know. I have my own thoughts after reviewing this plan. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And so many times being over there and kind of like evaluating the entire property as a whole, I'd like to continue making upgrades, Parks and Rec equipment, possibly like the pathway probably needs to be looked at and redone. Definitely parking, because if we build this grand playground, the hope is it's going to become a destination and people are going to want to be there. Update the building or possibly build a new building. What about there's a basketball court as well as tennis court there. Do those need to be refreshed? Do we need a basketball court? How many people go there to play basketball? I'm not sure. These are a lot of questions that I've had.
I can tell you from 6 houses or 2 houses.
We need a
past-
basketball court. Don't take the basketball court.
Yeah,
Okay,
I see the kids playing basketball quite a bit, like when I drive past. On the way
Okay,
home.
great.
And
Well,
there's some of the
good
nicest
basketball
kids.
court.
Like I see stuff on Facebook all the time how the kids help the other little kids play basketball. And believe it or not, as small as the play that is, we have the most basketball courts in Charles County.
Okay, so basketball court is a keeper. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
so I live right by Wells Park, without saying too much. It is very used.
Okay, perfect.
So I think, Kristen, where you're going is, if maybe this design is like great and very hopeful one day. But maybe we just focus on using those funds for enhancing the current facilities we have. So, and these funds are separate from the playground funds. That is a whole nother
Right.
$400,000 altogether. So, do you resurface the basketball court and the tennis court? So like I think that might be a conversation that we all probably should have.
Mhm.
And unfortunately we gotta have it soon. Budget time is coming up to reappropriate funds. But yes, Krista, like that's maybe enhance the current facilities that we have, given that we are going to have this playground installed and ready by summer.
Right. I mean, that's what I'd love to see. And, but make the tennis court and pickleball. I mean, pickleball is all the rage right now.
You can just stripe it like a different color. It's-
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And of course,
Okay.
that's just, these are just my opinions. That's nothing that's been, you know,
No,
No.
you're right. I mean, this will be coming back before the council again to see what we want to do.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that I'm speaking correctly for the Park and Rec Commission. Like, are we all aligned on directing staff to reappropriate the funds? Reappropriate, but you know what I'm saying? Reappropriate the funds to enhance the current facilities that are at the playground, i.e. the basketball court, the tennis court, and maybe look at the feasibility of additional parking.
yeah. Yeah, parking is going to be big. We don't have that much parking right now. Not very many spaces at all.
That's not close either yet.
Would the Great Lawn still be big enough for LPYSA to use as a practice field?
Well, if we don't touch the design, because parking can come closer to the playground right here.
Okay.
Now, I'm only speaking, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what it can do. But I see there's two different types of parking that they have here. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine the one right here, they have to cut through the major lawn that they have here where the baseball field was. I wouldn't imagine, but then again, also I'm not an engineer, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to then be losing, the potential for a practice field if we don't need to.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah, it would be nice to kind of refresh that, and especially if that's going to be our only shot for a community building, then yeah, maybe have the park be used a little bit more, and definitely more parking. I feel like parking can be an issue.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then we still have the Dorchester Community Center that's in the capital budget that I believe staff is working towards. So that will still be a community center. Where that building is going to be, we have no idea. Yeah, at least I have no idea. Let me just say that. So that, and I do foresee that happening. Just because we went back to the state to get the money. So it's about a $1.8 million project. We have to have the funds spent by 2029, or secured by 2029, with the estimated completion year of 2028. So I know Chuck has been in conversations with community partners about what that looks like. So, and we don't know where we'll put that at in town, right? So
Okay.
that will still be happening as a community center, and we want to make sure it's accessible, right, to everyone.
Yeah.
The other report is, the library is still well, and the Newtown Library is still a conversation. I believe they are in the pipeline for January, February conversation with the Planning Commission for next steps in that.
Okay.
And other than that, the town council have policy decisions or discussions around budgeting in December. And we meet with all the department heads in March for budget. And I will ask that if there's any major, I can't use the word major, if there's any projects or funding that you all have been thinking about on the Parks and Rec Commission, what does that look like? Kristen, I would assume they will submit that to you.
Yes.
That, and we'll see how it fits in the strategic plan and see what the budget looks like for next year. I think, any commission I sit on, we should advocate for funding and what we want to do, and make sure we continue to enhance the facilities that we have in town for parks. So whatever that looks like, just let me know. We could do that. Also, it's Municipal Works Government Month. So thank you all for what you do, even the volunteers of commission. We really do appreciate it. Especially all of you, but Vicky, I think you've been at this for 15 years, right?
It's been a minute, yeah.
So you have a lot of history that we would not have if you weren't on the commission still. So thank you. Thank you, Ashana, for serving. Thank you, Shauna, for popping on and serving the work you do in Patuxent Court and the town at large. And Kristen, the municipal employee, thank you. So it's really important, local government It moves slow, I learned over the last 6 months, but it does have the most impact. It has the most impact, so appreciate it.
Well, Tyjon, let me ask you this. What's your feel on so speaking of the Dorchester Community Center, I know there was some question about what exactly would that be used for, right? So you're saying it would be like an additional community building for people to rent, very much like Wills Park? And if that
No.
is, no?
No, I don't believe so. I think this would be a
Okay.
dedicated facility staffed by a community partner
Okay,
that the town will maintain the partnership with,
I got
from
you.
my understanding.
So there would still be a need for a community building.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. Because as we discussed, capital projects for next year, I would like to, put that forward as something that we should definitely do.
So this is the description. I'll read it. It says the Dorchester Community Center will provide a safe haven for local youth while providing a place for children and youth to gather for assistance with homework, life skills, and other trainings. The center can also be used for seniors or other groups of the residents. I would imagine that they put that description in there somewhere in the grant where they can use this for broader use, I would imagine. I guess it'll just be a conversation. I don't know how far staff is into this conversation, but I can always find out. Where are we looking at in town to be like, is it centralized? It got to be accessible to children. And we know this grant primarily came from an incident back in Phoenix Run some years ago. So it probably should be situated somewhere downtown, close and accessible for those children. But obviously it'll be open to all the town residents for that building.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the Wells Park Community Center.
Oh, what does that one say? I'm
That
sorry.
there would still be a need for that. I just want
Yes.
verify.
Yeah,
okay.
and it looked like it. Yes, there will still be a need.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And kind of that's why I've had my teeth sunk in with Pine Grove, was because like this was like, oh my gosh, like everything is coming together. Like this is our opportunity to have another community building where like the town could host things, people could rent it, all these other things, because then that would help us satisfy and tick off some things from the Parks and Rec master plan. So anything we can do to try to get us some more amenities that we know that we're lacking through the Parks and Rec master plan, especially now that it's been so many years since we had the plan done and the population of town has definitely increased. Yeah, Tyjon, anything that we can get to satisfy any of our deficits there, definitely I would be in support of, especially if it's something that, the broader community can use, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think that's still an option. I do. I think
Okay.
I think let me not speak what I think. I feel like we still have the window, maybe not for any additional, but with that dedicated parkland, I think the town still has a window to keep fighting, or come up with our vision to figure out what we want to do with that parkland that we have it. So
yeah, unless the HOAs were willing to rent out to town residents that aren't necessarily from that neighborhood for a different fee, obviously, more than the people that live in the HOA. Like we were talking about, like what Cove Point does. If you're a Calvert County resident, you pay one fee. If you're not Calvert County, you pay something else. So yeah, I just kind of want to, maybe if we can keep that conversation open, to see if there is a path forward, whether it's through just, using the community buildings like that, or through that separate area that you were discussing. So.
yeah, no, I'll keep the conversation alive.
Okay, thank you.
And if y'all ever think of anything you all need for the Parks and Rec Commission, like feel free to email me questions. Particular, I don't think we're meeting again until January. I think I heard. Budget conversations or thoughts. We probably should make sure it does correlate with the Parks and Rec master plan, though, somehow, some way. So feel free to send it, and I'm not afraid to ask for money.
Okay, thanks, Tyjon. And then Kristen had one more question. From the September meeting, we had talked about, it says the commission endorsed an inventory of existing playground equipment for planned maintenance and improvement. Are we kind of going to have like a spreadsheet going and kind of an estimate of when we should consider replacing some of the equipment? I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember exactly what it
For
meant.
the additional, for the other 6 neighborhood parks.
Yeah.
So that came up in a meeting that Wilson and Chuck and Michelle and I had
Okay.
a couple weeks ago. We need to determine there are 7 in total. Wells Park obviously being the largest, parks
Okay.
with playgrounds in La Plata. We built them,
Mhm.
but we don't own. There are 3 of the 7 that we do not own.
Okay.
We don't own the property, so we're going to have to come back around and determine what is the town required to do. What
Okay.
should we do? Okay, with playgrounds where we don't own the property.
Okay.
And I have my thoughts on what we should do, but we're trying to figure out like the powers that be that were many years ago that built that said, okay, we're going to build these playgrounds in these neighborhoods.
Mhm.
Was there any kind of agreement that said we're going to do it now, but in the future we won't be rebuilding? I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
A couple of them are just little pocket parks, like the one on Hemlock Court and the one at the very end of Caroline Drive. Now, I believe that Caroline does need to, that's an area that should have a playground. That they should
That's
really.
not a town park.
It is not. Well, you know which one is? The little top park at the very end that now butts up to La Plata Parkway.
So the town replaced that equipment before.
We've little pieces here and there to keep it maintained. If the swing, broke, we would, do replacement parts.
Hmm.
But as, the project manager for upgrading all of the parks, during my research, I was like, well, we don't own this park. So what is our responsibility
Mm. Okay.
when we don't own the property? So that's something that I think Chuck is going to look into. I did, when we were doing the budget last year, I put in money for upgrading all of the playgrounds over the next 5 years, with Wills Park obviously being the first one.
Okay.
But it's something that we're going to have to come back around to, because we have to decide, like I said, what are we responsible for? What should we do? Are there any kind of legal ramifications for any of that? We have the Patuxent Court playground, and it doesn't really get that much exposure. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna all come to play. I'm not. But like I
Yeah.
said, we have to determine what it is that we legally are responsible to do, and what should we do just for the community.
Okay.
And
And
then-
then for the ones that we do own, it would be nice if we could kind of like get an estimate of when we think we would need to replace some of them so that we can plan for it. Because like in this case with Wills Park, I don't want us to get to a point where like people are getting hurt and stuff before we can get the funds together for it. So just like the planning of it would be nice for
No,
us to
my
just have
plan would be to do one every single year over the next 5 years. But
Oh.
like the two that we own that are the newest are the one in Clark's Run and also the one in Agricopia. The town
Mhm.
owns the properties. Those are not as in disrepair as the others that we do not own.
Okay. All right. I saw that item, so I just wanted to kind of get some clarification on that. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Tyjon, did you have anything else to add from town council?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Rashonda and Shauna, did you ladies have anything
Nope, don't have anything. Just would like to see the proposal, the RFP.
So like the parts we don't own and then we fix them, does that put us like liable to kind of own them now because we fixed them that one time? And also, is there any process where there are parts that are not owned by us, but that are in shambles that, do we tell the people that own it to like tear it down or fix it so people won't get hurt? How does that work? Just curious.
So if once the executive team decides, what is it that we need to do, if the decision is made that we will not be replacing park equipment or redeveloping the playground on the properties that we do not own, my guess is we would come around and remove those playgrounds.
And structures. Okay.
But
And we are allowed to do that even though we don't own that property?
I really shouldn't speak to that. I don't know. That is a town management decision to make. And I'm just waiting for them to say, this is what we're going to do. Or this is what we should do. And this is what we're required to do. And then go from there. I feel awful. Like we probably as a town, we should have been upgrading these playgrounds all along, a long time ago, but it just was never a priority with funding and.
Yep. And I think before we were to remove anything, I think that needs to be a conversation with
Oh
the
my God,
community.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to just go in and take it. Yeah.
The only reason we would remove something is if it was just a safety hazard, became a safety problem.
Okay. All right. Anything else for today? No? Okay. If not, we'll go ahead and adjourn. We will not have the meeting in December, but we will start back up again after the first of the year. So I hope you all have a very happy holiday season through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And we will see you guys again in January.
Okay,
Happy
sounds
Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.